Assalamu alaikum. Here is chemical technologist Osama Shahab with you. Hope you all are safe, fine, and healthy. Today, I am going to talk about one of the main important problem of environment, that is air pollution.
First, we have to know about the air. Air is a mixture of gases in which 78 to 79% nitrogen exists, oxygen present 20%, carbon dioxide 0.03%, water vapors 0 to 5% according to the nature of the environment or nature of the weather, and noble gases which are less than 1%, and especially argon gas. Now, separation of air. We know that we can obtain nitrogen and oxygen from air. So we can cool the air and compress the air. When this air is converted into liquid, we will do fractional distillation with this liquid air. Then this liquid air will give us nitrogen, argon, and oxygen according to their boiling point. 196 boiling point of nitrogen, 186 boiling point of argon, and 183 boiling point of oxygen in negative. So firstly, we will get oxygen gas, then argon, and then nitrogen from the fractional distillation of air. Now, air pollution. We are taking breath in the air, which contains 79% of nitrogen and 21% of oxygen almost. We are breathing in the air in which a lot of chemicals are present, which is termed as air pollution. They may harm us, and they also harm non-living things. They also damage non-living things. So, the meaning of air pollution is the presence of toxic and harmful chemicals in the air, which may harm human beings, living organisms, and can damage non-living things as well. Air pollution is caused by solid particles and poisonous gases in the air. These air pollutants include carbon monoxides, oxide of nitrogen, and oxides of sulfur. When we talk about carbon oxide, it may be carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. And when we talk about oxides of nitrogen, so it may be nitrogen monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, and nitrous oxide. And sulfur dioxide with sulfur trioxide. These oxides are pollutant and can harm the living things and non-living things as well. There are some other toxic gases which also harm living and non-living things that you will learn later on. Start with carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is poisonous gas with no odor and no color. The source of carbon monoxide is the incomplete combustion. When there is any incomplete combustion, there may be a carbon monoxide which is going to be produced. Oxides of nitrogen. Oxides of nitrogen include nitrogen monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. Nitrous oxide is not included in your syllabus of CIE. There are two ways by which nitrogen oxides can form. Number one, in car engines or in factories. Sparkling in the car engines or vehicles, there may be a lot of temperature which is caused by sparkling in the car engines. That can easily break down the bond between nitrogen molecule. Therefore, when that temperature break the bond between nitrogen and oxygen, the nascent nitrogen and oxygen combine together and form nitrogen monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. It is all depend on the supply of oxygen. Second is during thunderstorm. It is a natural source. Sky lightning can also cause nitrogen oxides to be produced because it also contains a lot of temperature. So it can easily break down the molecule of nitrogen and molecule of oxygen. Then these nitrogen and oxygen nascent combine together and form oxides of nitrogen. First way, in a car engines or chemical factory, we know that temperature is very high and it will break down the bond between nitrogen. Nitrogen contain triple covalent bond, therefore it requires a lot of heat or energy to break down. So it can only happen in the engines or in chemical factory where our temperature is very high. This is the equation. Nitrogen dioxide will be produced by the oxidation of nitrogen monoxide. Nitrogen monoxide is a colorless gas. React with oxygen to form brown gas. Brown is nitrogen dioxide. Here is the equation. Second way is thunderstorm, sky lightning. Sky lightning releases energy in very huge amount, and that energy can break the bond between nitrogen molecule and oxygen molecule. Then these single or free radical of nitrogen and oxygen combine together to form nitrogen monoxide, and after that nitrogen monoxide oxidizes to nitrogen dioxide. Sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is caused or produced by the combustion of fossil fuels, because when we withdraw the fossil fuel from the soil, so it will contain the amount of sulfur in it, which should be purified before use, but it is difficult and expensive process. Therefore most of the fossil fuel will use directly without purification. When fossil fuels contain impurities of sulfur burned in the presence of oxygen, it will produce sulfur dioxide, and if sulfur dioxide will be oxidized in the presence of oxygen, it will produce sulfur trioxide. Both are toxic gases. One natural source of sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere is volcanic eruption, because volcanoes contain amount of sulfur in it, and when volcanoes burn, it will cause sulfur dioxide to produce in the environment. Other pollutants are methane, lead, and ozone. Unburned hydrocarbons are also toxic and harmful for the life. Methane is colorless and odorless. The source of production of methane is decay of animal matter or organic waste. The source of methane in the environment is decay of organic waste or animal matter decay. It is also a greenhouse gas. Now, air pollutants and their effects. Carbon monoxide. It may cause headache, fatigue, breathing difficulties, and even death. So it is very dangerous for you if you are burning something in closed area. Avoid burning in closed area and start burning in open areas, so that carbon monoxide will not produce. Sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide or nitrogen oxides have the same problems that may occur after the production of these gases. Number one, irritation in eyes and lungs as well. Breathing difficulty again. High level of SO2 oxides of nitrogen also led inflammation in lungs, which is called as bronchitis. SO2 and NO2 form acid rain, which corrode buildings, aquatic life, and metals. Why is carbon monoxide harmful? Carbon monoxide reacts with hemoglobin, which is present in the blood, and form carboxyhemoglobin. It is very stable compound. As a result, hemoglobin cannot transport the oxygen to the rest of the body. When we breathe in, we take oxygen inside, and this oxygen combine with hemoglobin and move throughout the body, and in this way, as a result, the whole body gets the supply of oxygen. But if we are taking carbon monoxide with our breath, so it will form carboxyhemoglobin, which is very stable compound and cannot be easily broken down from the body or released from the body. So it will move throughout the body and it will stop the transport of oxygen to the rest of the body. Acid rain. Acid rain is also caused by these oxides. We remember non-metallic oxides. Non-metallic oxides are acidic and neutral in nature. So the acidic non-metallic oxide cause acid rain, like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, and nitrogen dioxide. These four oxides cause acid rain because these non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. When these oxides release from the surface of the land and reaches to the cloud, they will start dissolving in the water which is present in the cloud. Like sulfur dioxide dissolve in water and form sulfurous acid. When this sulfurous acid oxidizes in the presence of oxygen, it will form sulfuric acid. Then oxides of nitrogen. In the presence of oxygen and water, oxides of nitrogen form nitric acid. When these oxides release from the surface of the land and reaches to the cloud and start dissolving in the water present in the cloud, form nitric acid. The pH value of unpolluted rainwater is slightly below 7 due to the presence of carbonic acid, because we know that carbon dioxide is also present in the atmosphere, and when it dissolves in water it will form carbonic acid. This is a weak acid. Due to this weak acid, the pH of the rainwater is almost near to 6. But when nitric acid and sulfuric acid form inside the clouds, so it will blow the pH till 4 or less than 4. Acid rain react with metals and carbonates. We know that acid react with metals and carbonates. It will produce salt and hydrogen, and it will produce salt, carbon dioxide and water. So definitely when acid rain happen, so it will damage metal bridges and the metal substances, and it is also damage the buildings that are made up of calcium carbonate. Almost the limestone buildings will be damaged by acid rain, and the metal bridges and the metal substances present in the environment also damaged by the acid rain. Acid rain can also affect the aquatic life because of their pH. Too less pH is harmful for the aquatic life. So when rainwater start mingling with oceans, rivers, lakes, so it will decrease the pH of the water, and it is very harmful for the aquatic life. It is also leaches important nutrients from the soil and destroy plants. Firstly, when acid rain directly reaches to the plant, so it will destroy plants, fruits, flowers, leaves directly, and when they start reaches to the soil, it will decrease the pH of the soil that will ultimately affect the plantation, reducing the effect of acid rain. The major contribution is sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides. So we can reduce acid rain through the use of catalytic converter and desulphurization. Catalytic converter is a type of converter which have to be used in our cars, which convert carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide with methane into suitable gases like carbon dioxide, water and nitrogen. It is made up of ceramic, and platinum or rhodium can be used as a catalyst in it. It is stainless steel casing. Carbon monoxide oxidizes to carbon dioxide, oxides of nitrogen reduce to nitrogen, and unburned hydrocarbon methane will oxidize to carbon dioxide and water. These are the following reactions which occur inside the catalytic converter, and these all reactions are redox reactions. What other measures can be used to reduce air pollution? When you are going to a long run, avoid using fossil fuels. And for the future control, we have to use alternative fuels like methanol and hydrogen. When these fuels burn, they will only produce carbon dioxide and water. And start using electric power motor vehicles, which will not cause any type of emission of any gas. There are two ways to minimize sulfur dioxide pollution from flue gases. Flue gases are the gases which are produced by the burning of fossil fuel. When we withdraw the fossil fuels from the land, we have to remove the sulfur content from the fossil fuel. But it is too expensive and difficult. So we use directly fossil fuels, which will cause sulfur dioxide to produce into the environment. And the second method to reduce that sulfur dioxide from flue gases is desulphurization. What is this? Desulphurization is actually a process in which sulfur dioxide is passed through calcium carbonate or calcium hydroxide. In case of this, as a result, calcium sulfite will be formed. This calcium sulfite will be further oxidized to calcium sulfate, and hence we will remove sulfur dioxide content from the flue gases. Depletion of the ozone layer. Ozone layer is actually the layer which is surrounding our world from the UVB rays of sunlight. UVB rays of sunlight can affect our skin and can cause skin cancer. It also causes genetic mutations and cataracts. Ozone is present in the stratosphere. Now, what is the cause of depletion of ozone in the stratosphere? The depletion of ozone layer is CFC compounds. CFC means chlorofluorocarbons. The compounds that contain chlorine, fluorine and carbons are called as CFCs. CFCs were widely used as propellant for aerosols, coolants in refrigerators and ACs, and also used as a fire extinguisher. You can see in the diagram here in the stratosphere we have a layer which is made up of ozone, and it stops the harmful rays of sun and protect our world. But due to the use of CFCs on the surface of the land, produce the gases, and these gases start evaporating and reaches to the ozone and deplete the ozone. Due to this depletion, harmful rays of sun reaches to the land and causes different problems with the peoples. It will cause especially skin cancer to the human being. CFCs releases free radical of chlorine, which can destroy 1,000 molecules of ozone and form unstable oxide of chlorine. It will again destroy, and this free radical of chlorine again damage ozone molecule. So a single free radical of chlorine from CFC compounds can damage 1,000 molecules of ozone. Many countries have now agreed to ban the use of CFCs, and they are using nowadays HFCs, hydrofluorocarbons, in which the amount of chlorine is not present. Even if the use of CFCs is totally stopped at once, the depletion of the ozone layer will continue for many years due to the CFCs already present in the atmosphere. That I have already told you, a single free radical of chlorine can break down 1,000 molecules of ozone. So even we stop the use of CFC, but continuously or presently the ozone is depleting because of the previous free radicals of chlorine that are present near ozone layer. Carbon cycle. The amount of carbon dioxide which is maintained by the activities is termed as carbon cycle, and it contains three processes mostly. Number one, respiration. Due to respiration, we produce carbon dioxide. Second, combustion of fuel. It is the main source of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This process is the responsible process which damage the maintenance of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It will harm the environment. It will cause the huge amount of carbon dioxide to produce in the environment, which unbalance the maintenance of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Photosynthesis is the process by which carbon dioxide is releasing or consuming from the environment. Now, greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide is greenhouse gas, but it is not only the greenhouse gas. Methane and nitrous oxides are also greenhouse gases. The natural greenhouse effect is crucial for maintaining the proper temperature needed to sustain life on Earth. It is very important when we talk about natural greenhouse effect. Actually, greenhouse effect is important to survive the life onto the land. But the exceeding amount of methane and nitrous oxide and carbon dioxide start depositing on the surface of the land, which making layer of these oxides, and after making these layers they are trapping the heat of sunlight, and after trapping they are releasing their heat to the world, and due to this the temperature of the world is increasing. After increasing the temperature, the glaciers are melting. After melting the glaciers, the levels of sea are increasing, and after that flooding occur. So these all problems are due to the greenhouse effect, which are called as global warming. Now moving to your homework. Your homework is write down the effects of the following. What is the effect of carbon monoxide? What is the effect of carbon dioxide? Ozone depletion, oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogen, acid rain, and global warming. You have to write the effects of all of these. Second question is write down the source of the following. What is the source of ozone depletion? What are the gases that are causing the depletion of ozone? What are the gases that cause global warming? And what are the gases that cause acid rain? Thank you so much for your time and attention. If you feel any problem while performing your homework, you can ask before 9 o'clock today. Stay safe, stay blessed. Allah Hafiz.